Welcome, Yum at Heart.
Okay, here we are. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today we talk about the story of Jonah and the big fish. We have prepared a play for you, and we prepared it in 9 minutes. So you're going to see what we can do with 9 minutes of preparation. And the story is about listening to God and trying to understand what God wants us to do. And sometimes we're not sure, or sometimes we don't like what the message seems to be from God. So you're going to see the reflection about that. And it's also about the distinction about what we want and sometimes what we need. So many times in life we want things, but God tells us, oh, I think at this point you need something else. So you're going to see how Jonah learns that lesson. And here we go.
There was once a man called Jonah. One day, God spoke to Jonah.
Jonah, the people of Nineveh are being very selfish. I don't like it. Go to Nineveh and tell the people there to smarten up or else.
So Jonah did what any of us would do in a difficult situation. He went to the seaside and hopped on the first boat going completely the other direction. But Jonah should have known better. When you're dealing with God, you can run, but you can't hide. God sent a nasty storm, which tossed around badly the ship Jonah was on. The sailors were pretty scared.
Scared.
Oh my gosh!
Bradley, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
This is awful!
Awful.
The worst storm ever!
The worst storm ever.
Throw everything overboard!
Throw everything overboard.
Or we're going to sink!
We're going to stay.
Where is that guy? You know, that guy!
The captain found Jonah taking a snooze below decks. The captain made him come up and talk to all the sailors. The sailors felt God had sent the storm because God was unhappy with Jonah. They asked Jonah what they should do to make God happy and get the storm to stop.
You'll just have to throw me overboard. It's the only way.
The sailors were sad about this idea. They tried throwing other things off the ship instead, but the storm didn't stop. So they had to throw Jonah into the sea anyway. So they did. But God sent a big fish that gulped Jonah right down into its tummy. Jonah was safe down there for a few days, although he didn't like the rotten fish smell. While he was in the fish's tummy with not much else to do, Jonah made up this little prayer.
Hey, dear God, I'm sorry I ran away from you. Now I can always talk to you in my prayers, and you will hear me. Thanks.
Right then, the fish opened its mouth and spat Jonah back out onto dry land.
Stand up, Lucy. Okay.
As you might expect, God spoke to Jonah again.
Okay now, Jonah. This time, do what I tell you. Get up and go to Nineveh and tell the people of that city to smarten up and behave, or else.
This time, Jonah did as he was told and went to Nineveh. It was a long way. When he got there, he did as he was told.
Hey, all you guys from Nineveh. In 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed if you don't all smarten up.
It worked. The people of Nineveh said they were sorry. Even the sheep and cows and dogs and cats of that city looked sorry to God. When God saw all this, God decided not to destroy the city after all. But this new decision made Jonah really mad. He went and sat outside the city and stayed in a really bad mood. God continued to look after Jonah. God made a big plant grow up over him. It had leaves like umbrellas. Jonah liked it and felt quite comfy and safe in the shade of the plant God sent. But the next morning, God sent along a worm. This worm chewed up the plant and killed it. The day became hot, and Jonah thought he would die from the heat without the shade of his friend, the green plant.
I'm so sad. My friend, Mr. Plant, is gone.
Then God gave Jonah a serious talking to. He told him he should smarten up. The way Jonah felt about the plant was sort of like how God felt about all the people of Nineveh, and all the animals too. He liked them all very much. If they all showed how sorry they were, God was happy. The people of Nineveh had learned the lesson God wanted them to learn.
Thank you. Big bow, ready? 1, 2, 3. And to recap the story, we have a little chant that kind of tells the story for people of all ages and abilities. So your job is to repeat after me. Here we go. Wait for it. Who did swallow Jonah? Who did swallow Jonah? Whale did swallow Jonah.
Whale did swallow Jonah.
You do what the Lord tells you to. You do what the Lord tells you to. Whale won't swallow you too. Whale won't swallow you too. Whale won't swallow you down.
Whale won't swallow you down.
Beautiful, thank you. And thank you to Young at Heart who just comes. They don't know what to expect each Sunday, and we pulled this together in 9 minutes. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Final bow. Thank you. Let's take our props.